Okay, welcome everybody to the August 27th Shade Tree meeting. First up is meeting minutes. I looked through, everything looked good to me. Anybody have any thoughts?
No comments here.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nothing on consent right now. New grading permit. So first up, we have 5A, 838 Bryn Mawr Avenue. Hi, welcome. If you could just introduce yourself, tell us about the project, please.
Good evening. My name's Chris Yawn. I'm the civil engineer for this project. And so it's at 838 Bryn Mawr Avenue. The homeowner is proposing a accessory building in the back for a squash court on the inside. In order to offset that new impervious, we're removing a portion of the driveway that's shown here in the green hatch. And so this is the erosion sediment control plan. We're not proposing any tree removal. This is a newer plan than the one you saw. We revised the plans to meet the township engineer's comments, and so I thought it would be better to show you the newest version. This does have a little more tree protection fencing than the original plan did.
Where the structure's going in, to the right of it, there was a tree there on the old plan. Is there a tree there? Like it was going right into the drip line.
I do have the old plans. I have the old plans here. Not sure which one you mean. There is a bush labeled here.
No, there was a larger one. I don't have it now, but see this tree? There was a tree right here.
Yeah, we're looking at satellite view, and there was.
I know it was on one of the plans that we got.
This shows clump here.
Oh, the clump, yeah. So I assume that was that
Looks healthy.
that big tree there. So I was just wondering, are you going into the drip line of that, or is there?
So the surveyor didn't give that a caliper or DBH the way that they normally would.
Yeah.
And so I didn't look at. I'm assuming that maybe it doesn't have a trunk and it's more separate stalks.
Okay.
Or separate.
See,
Yeah.
I would suggest then if it does get approved, just to check with John, and if it is a larger
Okay.
shade tree, to make sure there is tree protection. Just
Okay.
because it did look like part of the building would be right on.
Yeah, I think we're showing
into
it
the drip
to
line.
be removed.
Oh, that
But
is
I guess it didn't have. The survey didn't show it as a tree, and instead more of.
Gotcha.
From the satellite view,
Multi-stem.
it does look like it's a tree. It may not be a 30-inch, but we would just need to confirm that it's under
Okay.
30. And as long as it is, then you don't necessarily need to be approved for that. But
Okay, we can confirm that.
Yeah, and then just update the, because ours said there was 0 trees being removed, just update on the application for township purposes.
Okay.
Anybody have a question?
Yeah, I just want, could you just confirm the cubic yards of dirt that are being excavated? Is it 150 or 300?
I don't remember. We usually put that on the application. I can.
Okay, because
Sort
the
of look at-
application says 300, but I'm looking at the minutes and it says 150. I was just curious.
I'm not sure. I could look it
So
up.
it's probably 300 if it's on the application, yeah.
Okay.
There might have been a typo on when the agenda went out.
Okay. Thanks.
Unless the new plan. Do you have it up there? Or?
The application said 150.
Thank you.
Very good. Anybody else have any questions, concerns? So I'll make a motion to approve as long as there is no tree, it's not being built into the tree, and if there is a tree there, that tree protection is put up. Do I have a second?
And I would just add contingent that the tree is, if it's being removed, less than 30 inches.
So
Correct, yeah.
if it's less than 30 inches, we can remove it. If it,
Right, without submitting a clearing permit. If it's over 30, then you would have to come back to us.
Okay.
Because that would be a heritage tree.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
And then, all in favor?
Aye.
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Leah, will you make note of that for John, 'cause since he's not here? Thank you. Okay, next up, we have 572 Cricket Lane, garage and walkway. Welcome to the Shade Tree meeting. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about the project, please. Thank you.
My name is Astrid Miraka, owner of the property. I'm not on this property. I'm planning, there's a single car garage in place, and to extend it on both ends so I can do a 2-car garage, and a little bit of extending the porch on this side. On the red area, all these are pavement. It's on the backyard. I'm going to remove that pavement, and I'm going to plant grass all over it so I can match up the impervious and non-impervious, keep it under the 500 so I don't have to do the water storm. So pretty much about it. Some of the dirt which I'm going to dig a little bit over here on this part is going to go to fill the grass area and whatever gravel is under there. And the rest of it will be hauled out. So about 300 cubic yards will stay in place. All these reds are the ones which are going to be removed. It's all concrete right now.
Thank you. And no trees are coming out?
No trees coming now, no trees. A little bit of, this tree over here is close to where the work is going to be done. We're going to put a fence protection around it. And
Yep.
and a little bit of fence protection over here in front, but I'm not planning to do much over here in front, only a little bit over here at the entrance to widen the stairwell. So.
Gotcha.
And a little bit of work over here on the driveway, but there is no trees close to this to widen the driveway for the, go in front of the garage doors.
Got it. And you got the tree protection in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're coming in through the driveway as soon
That
to
is
do
correct
the
right
work.
here. Only in and out. If I'm going to need to put any bobcats or anything in the back to carry the concrete, probably I'm going to put mats on that grass. It's about 17 feet wide, and there is no trees or anything on it.
Perfect. Anybody have any questions? All right, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Cool. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
the project.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Next up, we have 305 Beech Tree Lane, new family dwelling. Welcome back. If you could just tell us about the project real quick and
Of course. So my name is Andrew Malmstrom with Site Engineering Concepts. We're the engineer on this project. You've seen this overall subdivision in the past. This is lot 12 of that subdivision. There's no changes to the landscape plan with this lot. And currently, this is a lot that sits towards the center of the subdivision, so everything's cleared around it.
so this was all approved before, you're just coming back because you're getting ready to build
That is
the
correct.
house
Yeah,
on the property.
yeah. This is just to confirm the footprint with the township and make sure all the impervious matches up with the subdivision plan.
Gotcha. Okay.
And no changes to the plan whatsoever?
Nope.
Questions, anybody? I have none. Looks good to me. Seeing nobody else, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good. And you have a 5F as well.
I do.
Is that the same exact thing?
That is the same exact thing. It is.
Can we just do
for
that real quick while
lot
you're
17.
here?
Yep. So this is lot 17 of the same subdivision. There's no proposed changes to the landscape plan. The trees replacement will be.
So everything we approved with land, whatever it was before?
That is correct.
It's
With
all
the
the same, no
subdivision, all the
changes, same
same.
as the last one?
Correct.
Okay, anybody,
And for the record, that's 313 East Beech Tree Lane.
Thank
Yep,
you, Seth.
Also known as lot 17 for the subdivision.
questions? Oh, okay, I'm going to make a motion to approve as well.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Cool, good luck. Thank you for staying around for the second one.
And I have the next one up here too.
Which one's that?
238 Shimona is, I think, believe next on the agenda.
Okay, perfect. So 5C and 5D.
That's it.
So 5D, we have 238 Shimoni Road, driveway extension. Okay, if you could tell us, give us a description about
Yep,
this.
so as you can see on the plan here, there's going to be a proposed driveway extension, really a loop drive in front of the existing dwelling. going to actually be removing 2 trees. There's an error on the application. There's a 9-inch tree and a 13-inch tree. The survey did not identify the species of which, but there's currently 20 trees on the property, so we'd be under the 25% removal or the 6-tree removal for requiring replacement. There's tree protection fencing shown for any trees within 25 feet of the limit of disturbance out front, and we're providing stormwater management for the driveway improvements.
Perfect. Yeah, the ones I was pointing out, the 2 trees I noticed, but you have that corrected in the plan?
It'll be corrected on the next version of the plan, and we'll update the application as
Okay,
well.
the other thing was 91 cubic yards of soil to remain. There is trees in front, so are you planning on spreading the soil out front? If you do, you might want to keep away from the trees.
We'll make sure to keep away from the roots. A lot of the soil is actually just building up for the driveway. So there'll be excavation for this stormwater bed. A lot of it will just to be lift up the soil as we go for the
Okay.
driveway approach to the house.
Gotcha, perfect. Okay, I have no other questions. Anybody else? No, I'll make a motion to approve then.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cool. Thank you, good luck. It's going by quick. Okay, next up we have 5C 16 Lockwood. Mr. Chip. And this is part of the larger development, and you're just coming in for the grading permit for that property?
Right. I'm Chip Vaughn. Yes, this is just one of the lots in Lockwood Lane subdivision across from Agnes Irwin. There are 2 trees back here that, they're not shown, but there are 2 trees back there that we said we would, I mean, there were a whole lot of trees that that we're replacing in terms of 1 for 1, but, or whatever the calculation was, but, yeah, and the one thing that was missing from the application was the amount of dirt, so, which is actually 880 yards. But when we do the whole subdivision grading plan, we set the elevation of the lot down so that when we dig out the dirt, put it around the house, it should even out, so
Okay,
it's not going anywhere.
gotcha. Were the 2 extra trees, were they extra, or were they on the original plan, do you know?
Well, so there was a spruce and can't think of it, a bush really, but the application said we would. I don't even think they're there at this point, but they showed up someplace, so we said we would replace them. I mean, they're going to get replaced on the lot. It's nowhere else. I mean, so if you look at the. If you look at the, look down here at the calculation, it says replacement trees required is 2.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure that's correct, but if it weren't, it would be 0. So we'll just go with the 2, because we know we're going to replace them anyway, so.
Got it, okay.
So that calculation was 2 removed and 2 replaced. You were doing a 1-to-1?
Yeah, they're small.
Okay.
This is how it sits on the property.
Yeah, and since you removed other trees from there, if that's not part of the original, then those 2 trees would be counted as extras, so
Right.
you wouldn't need to
Yes.
just keep on going.
Correct.
I would make a suggestion, if you could just let the township know what 2 trees you're going to plant, since you don't,
Okay.
unless you have a schedule, like a plant
I-
schedule with you, but you probably,
So what we'll end up doing is actually planting them as part of the lot planting piece.
Okay.
And our landscape architect guy hasn't, it's Gordon Eady, hasn't come up with a final plan yet, so.
gotcha.
But I can shoot something back here just showing you what we're doing.
Yeah, I would recommend you to send them back to the township so
Okay.
they have it on file.
Okay?
Anybody? I think we're looking good. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, Okay, so next up, we have 610 King of Prussia Road, Villanova Founders Hall. I welcome if you could introduce yourself and tell us about the project, please.
My name is Peter Kokonis, and I work for Site Engineering Concepts, here representing Villanova at their Cabrini campus. They're planning some renovations to Founders Hall, which is located in the middle of the campus. If you look on the left side or the right side of the building, they're taking out a greenhouse and some stairs. And then the front of the building, there's currently a large set of steps to the front door that's not ADA. They're putting in an ADA access and a little pathway, and taking out a little piece of walkway. They're also putting a canopy up at the northeast corner of the building, and a hydraulic lift as well in the loading area there. No trees are to be removed. There is one heritage tree, a 48-inch oak. We show tree protection around that tree, have a tree protection detail on the plan. There's also a stormwater bed proposed in the front of the building.
All right, thank you very much. No trees. The only thing I noticed on there was, it did look like the infiltration bed was very close to the 48-inch near the drip line. Is there any way you could move it just down to like the
There's
433 grade
there's
line?
utilities all over the place.
Other utilities?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
kept it as far away. I think it's at least 15 or 20 feet in the closest corner there, but it's just the one corner right here.
Okay,
And it kind of goes away. But yeah,
it's a,
that was the best I could do fitting it in.
gotcha. Okay. That was all I had. Anybody else have any questions? No? It looks good. I'm going to make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next up, we have Manelli's. We should make this one the last one so he waits. No, go ahead. What's your name? Good evening, Mr. Schreiner.
Steve Schreiner, Schreiner Tree Care, and
Christella Portis, Manila Steiner.
so 2 red maples out front, been growing there for a while. The root system has impacted the sidewalk, creating a trip hazard. They've already had some issues with liability around it. So that's why the trees are needing to come out. And Chris was kind enough to make a donation to the township as far as new tree planting. So there you go.
Sounds good. And these are up here because you're in
Well,
the
they're
Wayne Business
commercial- Yeah,
District.
the commercial district.
So you have to
Um,
take one for one anyway, and you have to come before the board.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so I did see the trip hazards, and that will continue to get worse, I guess. And you're not replacing with anything in the front?
No, not right there.
Not there?
Yeah,
Can you-
it's really too tight.
Too tight? Anywhere else on the property?
Not really.
Maybe like a parking lot? No.
The parking lot's actually full of trees. If you go back there, there's
Yeah, I know, I'm only
blossoms and
joking.
all kinds of stuff.
I got you.
Red maples, some magnolias.
Could I just ask, instead of killing the trees, can you just grind the sidewalk down? I mean, the sidewalk's the problem, not the trees.
True, but it's going to continue the root system's going to continue to impact.
We've actually had it ground once already, and it's come up another 1/4 inch since then, in the last 5 years.
It's a shame to kill 2 trees. Anyway, wanted to ask.
Yeah.
And you have to have a sidewalk there. Anyway, so can't remove the sidewalk. Right?
Well, I mean, you know, when you sell your house, you got to repair the sidewalk in front of your house, you know, and that's usually a concrete job. You know, they rip it up, they put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Sidewalks are coming up all the time because of trees. I mean, it's just a fact of life. We don't cut down trees in front of our houses, we replace the sidewalk. That's why I'm wondering why we're killing trees instead of just replacing the sidewalk. That's what happens in this township.
Yeah, I've been sued twice now for this. I'm probably gonna get dropped from my insurance if I get sued a 3rd time. I don't want to be uninsurable.
Well, you don't live in Florida, so that's not going to happen. Okay. I would recommend fixing the sidewalk, not fixing the trees.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Frank. I hate losing those two big trees. I think they're, nice and mature and beautiful, and they make Manila's what Manila's is. But I do understand, the lawsuit side of things.
Have you looked at alternatives?
We've tried grinding them, they just keep coming back up.
You mean the roots?
Oh, no, the actual sidewalk itself.
Right.
Building the sidewalk to make it level.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming back up again.
Is it,
It's too close.
is it possible to maybe cut the sidewalk out and do something with the roots? Or would that damage the tree?
You could root prune, but then that could cause collateral damage to the tree's root system, being severed. So, and then you still have the issue of the sidewalk being elevated. So if you're gonna fix the sidewalk, it makes sense for the trees not to be there.
Well, is it a 4-foot sidewalk? I'm guessing it's,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't move the sidewalk? I can't see in each picture whether there's a tree on each side of it. Is that the situation?
No, the two trees are on the Minnelli's property, if you will. They're not in the right-of-way,
Okay.
right? And I think the sidewalk takes a jog away from the
Right.
road for safety, because they like to have that strip of grass between the curb and the sidewalk typically. So that, yeah. So, I mean, we talked about it, and to Chris's point, where they milled it before, it has come back again. And if you're gonna keep getting sued, I mean, it's not like a residential situation where you don't have a business that, with exposure. Residential house, sure, you grind it and it's okay, and, you can have a little ramp in your sidewalk, it's not that big of an issue, but when you're a local business and you have a trip hazard, it's not recommended.
Sure, and that's not to say that we would want to encourage keeping the existing conditions, right? But a 4-inch, I would imagine 4 to 6 inch sidewalk, cut that piece out, maybe do something with the roots, replace that piece of it, would be an alternative. Just curious if you looked at that.
I mean, that would be a temporary fix, but it's gonna still come back again, as the tree advances. And you have the expanse, so it's just, at this point, in the one tree, it's the one block, on the other tree, it's probably 2 or 3 blocks there, so,
Okay, here's the picture from,
you can definitely
can't move
Band-Aid it, but at the same time, it's still keeping the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if you're fixing the side, you're just doing a Band-Aid, and
do you need a sidewalk right there?
Yes.
Why?
We'd like more.
because
parking.
ordinance.
Ordinance.
All right, well, I'm just saying there's like an entrance and then
So
it goes
my
around.
thoughts on this is probably, these weren't the right trees to plant here. They were probably fine when they were a 2.5-inch caliper, but they're gonna get larger and they're in between a building and a sidewalk. So you're gonna cause damage for the remainder of the life of the tree. The tree's gonna get damaged in the meantime. So the responsible thing to do is, people come first, and then businesses, and then the trees, in my opinion. And if you're going to keep on getting sued, I don't see why there's a question. There was a project at Eagle Road, Hamilton, was that you? Hamilton Estate? Where they had to take down the trees because of the sidewalks there. And they had to put a new sidewalk in, and trees couldn't go in there. So I don't see any difference in this. They're causing a hazard.
And when the trees come down, I'm assuming you're going to remediate the sidewalk after they're down?
Yes.
That's the plan?
I'm looking at the photo that you have here with the 2 arrows, right, which you're looking across down Lancaster.
Could you throw that on the screen if you have a copy?
And I didn't mean to be like, do you need a sidewalk? But I'm looking down at the other adjacent commercial properties, and it looks to me from this angle that their sidewalk is actually closer to the road. And that's why I meant, like, do you need that sidewalk instead of where the others are? But I can't see really where the
So-
others are.
During the renovation of in the last 20 years, we were forced to push it back. It was originally on the street,
Oh.
and the township made us push it back
Do you remember what the reasoning was?
to keep it away from the street, to keep people walking away from the street.
Okay, all right, fair enough, thank you.
You've got two little green areas next to the new bar on the east side and a smaller area on the west side. Is that a site to plant some replacement trees?
We would probably run into problems there with signage. We have an exit and entrance sign, so if you put a tree in front of it, it
Well, I
might
was
get a little
thinking a little
confusing.
bit farther back, like there's a white car on Google Earth.
Yeah, like here. There you go.
Can-
You'd stick one like right, even like a smaller flowering tree. you
Like a
know,
red bud.
Like a red bud or something.
Smaller flowering tree we could do, probably something small.
And maybe on the other side, next to Dayton Lock Company, I mean,
That one is more narrow, though. That's,
Yeah,
it looks it's deceiving in that picture,
might
but
be
it's
more of a challenge.
it's a smaller strip.
and we wouldn't want to create a sightline issue there. But, and to James's point, I mean, once these big guys get taken down, is there any consideration to put a couple of small flowering trees out front?
I don't know about up front. We were probably gonna run into the same issue. I mean, I would have to ask Steve about what kind of trees would be the most, he would probably know better than I would.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why we're pushing back so much is, you know, we work really hard to line our streets with trees as much as possible for the beauty, you know, the environmental benefits. People love trees, you know, it
Right.
really enhances the property. So, you know, we hate to see two beautiful trees come down.
Agreed.
And I
And
think.
they wouldn't be coming down other than the fact that there's.
There's a process.
Safety
Yeah.
hazard.
Sure, yeah, and I'm not,
But it's still a net
No
loss.
other,
of-
it's not
net-
like a visibility thing that we've elevated them over the years,
Mhm.
so there's a visibility of the diner. It's not like things are being obscured.
Yeah, we
Sure.
understand that.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just, you know, planting smaller trees, you won't run into that, you know, issue. You know, throw a couple of red buds there, I don't think you're gonna see.
Would you be fine like with a hornbeam? If we went with hornbeam versus the red bud? Only because the red bud can kind of get sprawling.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of keep,
Hornbeam would be
Hornbeam's
would be
tight
good,
there.
yeah.
Are they shallow rooted or do they have tubers going down?
say, more
There's something that
shallow.
wouldn't affect the sidewalk as well.
No,
I was
I'm thinking about the teardrop,
Mhm.
the two teardrop areas on the flanks
Oh,
of the
okay,
property.
I'm with you,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
You know, on the flanks, I think, you know, I would be totally fine with that, yeah. And there's no, I'm looking at utilities, there would be no utility issue.
We'll, PA1 call it first.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Overhead, I meant, yeah, who knows what's in the
We'll
ground.
dig slowly.
Wear rubber gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put a
Mhm.
hornbeam on that side maybe,
Yeah.
on the entrance area.
Next to Barton's, yeah.
The other side, it's a little sketchy.
On the exit, I would advise not to. The Dayton sign and our exit sign are so close together, it's already kind of a hazard pulling out. Putting a tree will only make it worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
very
if-
sketchy.
If you put it far enough back, I think you might be okay.
Yeah, some
We
of the
we
drivers
can
in
look
the
at it,
township here.
and if not, we can just circle back. and let
Exactly.
them know.
Anyways, just, you know, consider it.
Find like ways to get trees along Leonard's Drive. And we haven't done a very good job.
Yeah, we need,
Used to works.
we need everyone's help, that's for sure. Okay,
Can you-
go back.
No, I just want to see those trees there.
Oh,
That's cool.
these guys?
Yeah.
What are they?
Looks like a maple.
Yeah.
Kind of reddish. All right, well, anybody else have any thoughts? Does anybody want to make a motion? I am okay with this, so
Yeah, I mean,
if somebody wants to make a different motion.
and the DBH of the trees, do we know what?
17.
17 and a half, okay. So that, you know, you're within right.
Would you consider putting the red buds or something on those two little aprons as a modification?
Pardon me, Frank?
The two little green aprons on either side?
Yes.
Would you modify your plans to put some smaller trees in there as the replacements for the two red
We
maples?
could do something
Yeah,
smaller, yeah.
we'll make it fit. Yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I do just want to also acknowledge, You had mentioned that you had donated some money to the township?
If needed.
If
we're
need,
gonna
oh,
plant-
okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna
I
plant.
got you. So, yeah, I would say if, in lieu of, I got you. So, yeah, if you plant the trees, then obviously, you know, we don't need to discuss that, but,
Is it a requirement to plant in the Wayne business if you're taking one down? Or you just need approval?
I think it's 1-to-1.
It is 1 to 1? Yeah. I would rather see, instead of putting a red bud in, well, I can see one tree going in, a smaller tree on that one side, but I'd rather see a larger canopy tree like planted in the township somewhere, rather than putting in a spot where it's gonna end up dying again.
I know, we have a lot of canopy trees going in the township. It's so visible along Lancaster Avenue.
Yeah, but when you plant a tree, you wanna make sure you plant in the right spot. That's,
I think they're the right spot.
there is more green. I mean, that's a good, probably
I would disagree that it's the right spot for a
8 to 10
tree
feet.
to go in there.
I
I mean, there's a hedge in there taking up most of the
It's
space.
certainly not perfect, but,
So, but,
yeah.
you guys wanna make a motion then?
I mean, if we can't fit the second tree on Manelli property, we're happy to put the tree elsewhere in the township.
No, I understand that,
Street tree
yeah.
in the park.
I was just saying, I'd rather a large canopy tree somewhere in the township that's gonna live for 100 years, not a tree that's gonna be, because it looks pretty there. Something that's gonna have an actual benefit, more so than in a little strip.
And we'll confirm that, James. If I don't feel like it's not.
Yeah,
it's
no, I
not worth it,
understand.
Then we'll get a bigger.
I understand, I just wanna make sure,
Wouldn't a
board's good
hornbeam
with that.
accomplish that?
what?
The hornbeam that he suggested, would that not accomplish that?
I don't think there's enough room on that exit side for a tree,
Oh,
so,
On the one side, should be fine. On the
You
second
said-
side, it may be a little tight.
so you get one?
I know a guy that can trim it.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve with replacements, and if one or two of those replacements are deemed not able to fit, you have the option of, we can work something out to have 2 others planted somewhere else. We have a fall planting coming up. Or the fee in lieu of is $500 per tree in a commercial district. So you could just, you know, write a check and we can take care of the rest.
I will
Second?
second that, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
thanks, guys.
Thanks for your understanding, too, on the matter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, where are we now? Thank you, Seth. Well put. Okay, let's go with old business, update on the fall tree planting. Frank, you sent out a PowerPoint for us.
Yeah, and Ian, could we pull up that PowerPoint, or is it up there? Do I have to stand up?
He had it earlier, he's got it.
I think you might have to flip the slides at least, Frank.
I'll be tired. We got the fall tree planting coming up this November, but I'd like to preface it by saying that we were awarded that grant for $10,000 from PICO Natural Lands Trust. So, I've been retired.
Thanks, guys, for
so-
going to that event. And I just do want to also acknowledge, out of the PICO money that was granted, we were one of the highest recipients based off of our past performance.
We were one of the highest recipients. There was one recipient that I recall got $50,000 out in York County for something that they were doing. But they liked our application, and you may recall that application was the reforestation at the Willows. Okay, so all the township trees that went up there were paid for by, by PICO. in addition to the trees by the scouts and other people. I would like to point, oh God, how do you get these things into slide mode?
See at the bottom right where the slider is for the Zoom? It's the little presentation icon.
Nope.
Or
There
that
we
works
go.
too.
And I'd also like to point out the burly young man with the two container trees on his shoulders is John Hosbach. Okay. So the theory is we got $10,000 for PICO for reforestation. I checked with Melissa, and the application for 2026 isn't out yet. But I'm thinking once it comes out, we apply for that application, get $10,000. The strategy would be to use the reforestation as a means of making our grant application more attractive, so they'd be more prone to give us another $10,000 next year. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have to pick a place to plant park trees. And Tammy came up with a bunch of locations, but I'd like to put 30 trees in the Willows, continuing the reforestation project and supporting our claim for another $10,000 from PICO and Natural Lands Trust.
I like that idea. I think the other project that we've been talking about is over at Hartford Park, down below, where that would require cleanup and, clearing first, but that's the only other forestation project that I can think of that we've discussed. But I like continuing to fill in that area at the Willows.
Okay.
I think it's a great project.
And I didn't hear from John, Ricky, I didn't hear from John Hosbach about whether the Willows would be something he would support.
For planning for this year?
Yes.
I'm not sure. We didn't go over that, but I mean, I know we wanted to plant more there, so I mean, that's definitely an option. Has plenty of room. So you want to extend it out further? He wouldn't be opposed.
Okay. So that was the first thing. The second thing is getting 80 trees. We can get 42 from PHS. I can put the application in by this Friday when it's due. And then to make up the difference, PHS is willing to work with us to get an additional 38 bare root trees. But I have to do it after Labor Day. They want to get anyway, I have to do it after Labor Day. But they're willing to work with us to get us an additional 38 bare root trees. James brought up the alternative. We could probably save some money by going to Pleasant Run Nursery and get container trees. That might save us some money. So that's still an alternative.
If we have to, I'd go with PHS just because it's not a huge amount and it'll be easier for everybody, I think, just one location
Okay,
to pick up
good.
the trees
Thank
and
you.
stuff
That's
like
great.
that, coordinate.
So therefore, we could earmark 30 trees to the Willows. The 4 trees we planted, volunteers planted at West Wayne Cemetery died. So I'd like to replant 4 trees there and acknowledge that James already planted 5 curb trees there at West Wayne. This was farther into the back. And then trees for residents who lost their bare roots last year. James, your neighbor, Helen Hong and Ann Sitar and William Gord are people that are, we could earmark to put some trees in. And then the remainder, 42 trees offered to residents. And then there was one proposal from Seth to actually engage Tree Authority to do the residential installations for us. I don't know, Seth, if you wanted to speak to that.
Sure. Yeah, we had engaged them a couple of years ago now, I believe 2 years ago, for a fall planting to help supplement. I think the challenge that we're finding is not that we've completely tapped out volunteer labor, but it is becoming more and more of a challenge, and also it's a big logistical exercise. So I did reach out to Hassan at Tree Authority. The last time that we had engaged them, they had charged us $100 a tree. This time, $115, so nominal increase, but that will include mulch, which I think last time it did not. So for 42 of the bare roots that we would earmark for residents and have them plant, that would come out to $4,830. They had also offered if we wanted to price match against Pleasant Run, maybe not price match, but compare prices against Pleasant Run, that could be a possibility. But I agree with James, if we can get the 80 from PHS, then let's just do that. So that would help. So Tree Authority, they were recommended by PHS, and they're very much understanding of this effort, this project, and I know that they would do a good job, and it would help on the logistical front on our end too.
I would say that I did see a friend of mine that actually is in the nursery business, went to Tree Authority's place in Percy and said they had beautiful trees. So
It's impressive.
if it's needed, I think they are a good place to go to. I would suggest, I think the 4830 is a little high for planting those trees. Try to get somebody, or ask them to do it for like 3,500. I think 3,500 for planting. They don't have to get the tree diapers, right? Or the
No,
stakes.
everything's
we're
included.
supplying stakes, tree diapers, and tree protection.
Yeah, so I think we
And
could
ties.
easily get somebody to 3,500 to 4,000. No problem. It's a day or
Yeah.
two work for a
But
company.
I think the challenge is, it's 42 different sites,
But no, I don't think that's a chance.
All right.
It's all in Radnor Township.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
When we planted a couple of years ago, we did like 16 or 20 in a day easily. So,
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just doing it to save money. I think that's what we should do, is try to, so we can put more towards pine trees.
sure. Well, let me see if Hassan's willing to negotiate a bit.
He will.
And
He will.
and we can go from there.
4,800 for 42 trees is,
So time waits for no man, and we need a proposal to approve this so that I can place an order. It's not binding. We place the order and then they go see if they can source it. So later on in September, we'd have to commit. But
yeah, I think,
Leah's asked for, what the price might be to put some proposals in front of the BOC, I think at the September 9th meeting.
Yeah, we need it Friday to go on for the September 8th meeting.
yeah, so I say we approve the purchasing of trees. I think the 4,800 is under the $7,500 for planting, and if we don't do volunteers this year and just contract it out, the planting, then we can do that at that time. I
Right.
don't think that's going to be an issue.
And I think the 6342 for the first 42 trees is going to be one invoice. And then for the additional 38 is going to be a second invoice, which is below the 7,500, if that means anything.
Yeah, no matter what we do, we still have to go before the board because of the budget issues, and we don't have that much budgeted for this year. But I don't believe it's going, from what I understand, the money's there. We just have to get approval from the board because we're going above the budgeted amount. So,
Yeah, and we haven't had.
Which
an issue.
I just simply do not understand, but that's okay.
And
Yeah.
one quick note, I know in the past we've had an issue with, even though that 4830 would be under the 7,500 because it's all kind of the same project, that's how it's looked as. So I guess, what we could do is approve that total amount, and then if we source, something that's cheaper, that could be a way to do it. Does that seem reasonable?
yeah, total amount sounds good because we don't even know miscellaneous volunteer cost. That could be less than that. Who knows?
Right.
So-
exactly. Does that work for you guys?
Or do you guys just want the PHS numbers?
No, you can give us everything. I would rather not piecemeal anything when we know
Okay.
it's going to be the cost. So usually what we do when we go before the board, we'll ask for amount not to exceed.
Right.
So even if we said 18,000, we would not exceed that, so you would have from that to back down. So if you don't
Yeah.
spend it all, great.
And the amount not to exceed will be for the total project, not for, since there's 4 different vendors we're paying out. Doesn't matter, right?
So it doesn't matter,
Okay.
because you're asking to spend down the cash fund basically. So you need a not to exceed number, which if you're including the Wayne Business Association trees in there, you're gonna need that higher than that.
That's even a different project.
But you wouldn't be able to go back to, well, you could go back to the board twice to ask them to spend your money out of your account, but do you want to?
I would keep it separate, and if they turn down replacing trees in the Wayne Business District, I don't think anybody would like that, since they're dying. And look,
Well, it's just that you're going back to amend the budget, I guess, twice.
Do we have the amount that we would need for the WBA trees?
We have an amount that was submitted, but because of the amount, I have to make sure that I have 3 quotes. So I have one now, and I have to get a couple more, and even with the 1 quote that was given, some of that we could see if we could maybe lower, if the township did some of the removal. The removal was one of the things that could be taken off, so we still have to talk to the one person that.
Yeah, so for all
made the bid.
transparency, are you talking about the quote I gave you?
Oh, it was you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So John asked me last month, everybody was here. And yeah, I talked to John about that, and I said, if you guys have somebody else do the trees. But I was way above what you were, or what John was hoping. So you might get somebody to where John wanted to be under that 7,500. Just saying. But
It's not gonna matter because the budget's only 57,93. So either way, you have to go back to the Board of Commissioners.
no, I understand.
How many total trees was it in the,
24?
Oh,
I'm
that-
recalling 24.
that many? Okay.
Wayne Business?
Yeah.
I think it was like 8 or 9, 10, something like that.
Oh.
24?
Yeah, I'd have to look at the emails. I didn't bring my papers with me.
Okay.
12.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like 10,
Hopefully it wasn't 24. I rescind my bid.
I mean, if it's 8 or 9 or something, then, and the township can remove, couldn't we just earmark a few of these for there? No?
Yeah, that all depends if that's what you want to see go in there.
Sure, I guess we don't have a ton of
Well,
control over species.
we're not restricted from doing that because all the PHS requires to get these discounted trees is right-of-ways and parks.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. Just a thought, we don't have to go that route.
There may be an ordinance, the ordinance might say you have to replace 2.5-inch caliber. And these trees might not be 2.5, the bare root.
Bare root are.
They're
And-
2.5? I'd say they're about 1.5 inches.
But I do want to mention, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know John, on his proposal for those trees, that he wanted specific trees to go in. So I don't know if the specific trees
Oh,
John wanted are the
yeah.
same ones that PHS would supply us with.
Good
Sure.
point.
Probably not. Okay.
Is this his forest? Is that what we're talking about?
Wayne Business District, they're adding in another place now. So there's a bunch of trees, I think you weren't here
I wasn't.
last meeting,
Okay.
that are dying in Wayne,
Okay.
and we want to replace them.
Just as a side thought, they're offering a whole bunch of container trees also at $110 a tree. If we wanted to get these Wayne Business District trees from PHS, it's just another opportunity for us.
Yeah, but they're all 5 and 7,
They're about,
they're
yeah,
probably like 3 feet tall.
they're double the
to
price
5
of
feet.
what Tree
Okay.
Authority and
Yeah.
Pleasant Run. But,
And the other thing is, I'm going back a little bit, if we do willows for planting trees at the reforestation, that was one of Tammy's recommendations also. So we're in line with Parks and Recreation. Or is that a television show?
I guess one other question for Ricky. The trees that we identified in the Wayne Business District that are dying, I'm assuming some of those are the ones that we had planted a while ago, but are there some that are outside of what we had planted?
I think all the trees that are in there are ones that was planted.
Okay.
by that project that Steve Norsini did.
Okay. The only reason I ask is I think we're okay with paying for what we had planted, but if there's anything outside of that, then having it come out of our funds might be negotiable, but it sounds like that's not on the table.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we had a conversation with Bill White, Steve Norsini, in regards to trees and as far as planting, and they do want that to stay under this committee. So even when, like, the Morris Road issues came up with those cherry trees, they wanted that to stay under, and they directed, those individuals who had issues to come see you in regards to the committee, in regards to a remedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I just think we've seen over the past few years our fund being used for more and more things that are not related to our spring and fall plantings, which is fine because it's all tree related. I just want to make sure we don't get to the point where we don't have enough money to do what our core mission for the spring and fall is. I don't think we're near that, but just.
Yeah, and I think that would be a great thing to put together, especially now, while we're preparing for the budget, to be able to come before the board and show everything that you're doing and how you're taking on more, and because of that, you're going to need more funds, more of a budget.
Sounds like a great PowerPoint that James and Frank can put together.
This would be my power. You don't want me doing that. So do you guys want the Wayne Business District trees, do you want to include that on asking for this at one time? Or do you guys want to deal with going to Board of Commissioners meeting twice and asking?
I think there's too many unknowns right now to vote on it tonight and to split it out.
Exactly. So I would propose.
Or you could go in with a not to exceed like $25,000 for all your projects that you want to spend for the rest of the year, or $30,000 for the rest of the year.
When you couple that with benefit, like we're putting in, 100 trees, it's pretty impactful. So I'd like to I would recommend making it as big as possible, and minimize the cost and just talk about the benefit that we're producing for the township. 100 trees is better than 80 trees.
True.
And we got pictures we can put on the slide.
Do we know exactly how much cash we have?
It's a good question.
I
I
think-
think we have 47,000,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure. Not to exceed 47,000 for the rest of the year.
I like.
You know what,
Well,
maybe if we.
you do still have almost 6,000 in the current budget, so it would be not to exceed above that 6,000. So if you take 6
So
off
go
of there, you're
25,000.
already at 11. So 20,
So-
you know what I mean?
So how about we say not to exceed 25,000, including this planting and the other any other plantings in the township?
Yeah,
Not
all
that it
the,
really
all,
means
any
anything, 'cause-
projects that,
Yeah.
you want to put together, you won't
So
spend more than
20
2750.
25 plus the 6, so
Plus the 6.
31,000
Yeah.
in total. And if we have 47 left, then
Then it's there.
historically, I've always liked to keep like 20-ish, just to pad for the next season. But I think that'll get us there.
It's whatever the board feels. The last board I was on before you guys, they didn't want any money left in the budget. They wanted to go to 0 so they could start fresh again and get money. Because their thought was if you run it out, then you get money. But if you don't run it out, why would Township earmark more money for you? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm good either way. It doesn't matter to me.
I like keeping a padding so that we know we have something to work with rather than nothing.
You just have a lazy balance sheet.
Okay, so priority. We need to get this done because you need to get the order in for PHS tomorrow, right? Or Friday. So we know we need at least $18,000. So does anybody want to add on more money, yes or no?
Yes, 25.
25,000.
Do I
More
hear
or-
31?
You're saying 25,000 more
And
total, so
Yeah.
like 19,000.
Are we confident that those 24 trees in WBA are going to cost 8 or 7,000?
I forget what the amount was, but I think it was, I know it was over $7,500.
It was over 7,500.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
probably
But
around,
if the
I think it was
township
under 10,000, it
cuts the
was over
trees down.
7,500.
So is 25 going to be sufficient?
Well, 25 plus the 6, I think. is-
Okay.
is
Well, there's
good.
going to be other estimates, and they might get somebody
So 31 total.
for 7,500.
I think that'll
I don't know.
be a safe number to work with.
Say again?
25 plus the 6.
That's what I have down there. Okay. I'm
So
hearing
do
25
we need a
plus.
PowerPoint for this presentation to the BOC? Or do we just have a proposal?
I think you do a PowerPoint, Frank. They would love it. I swear to God, I think they would love that. It doesn't matter what we're doing,
I'm
as long as it
willing-
looks good, people
Seriously,
do it.
I'll be the only serious one in the room then. I will help on a PowerPoint.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll get my daughter to help me because I can't do anything on the computer. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we, I'm going to make a motion that I let Seth come up with a motion.
Sure. I'll make a motion to extend our budget by $25,000 for a total of 31. Leah is going to draft the paperwork, and then we will go to one of us will go to the BOC meeting to help present our case and our plan.
I'll write the resolution and send it over to you.
Thank you.
And do you need to add on that it's for PHS planting and Wayne Business District?
Yeah, I'll
planting?
feed it all
Some
out there.
details.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
All in favor?
Aye. Good work.
Wow, that was tough, guys. I think that's what I said in the beginning, 25,000.
Numbers
But,
are hard. you know?
Imagine how hard if we had one more person. Okay.
Speaking of
Kristen, you up
PowerPoint,
next? You're, jeez.
Ian, turn
Okay,
the lights
management of
back on.
trees in the right of way. 7B. Miss Kristen, you're up.
All right, so I'm going to show you this one slide, and then I'm going to go through what's in it and come back to it. But this is an attempt, my attempt, to create something for the shade tree right now so that we understand what the right-of-way policy is for the township, because it's been difficult, I think, for us to grasp and then also to put it in context. So this is for us. This is not anything that the township or staff uses. It's really just for us. So if you could just see, the left column is how, if you look on our code, this is how the roads are categorized, expressway, arterials, right? And I'm going to show you what it looks like next. But as you go across then, it's sort of just this table of a combination of sources, but they're mostly from the code. So I put the far right is who's responsible for maintaining and removing right-of-way trees, right? And I plopped sidewalk in there to the left because I thought, why not? It's sometimes interesting to know how maybe what our policies are right now or could be might compare to the sidewalk. Okay, so let me just show you this. This is not an accurate schematic up top here, but I kind of like it because I feel like it helped me understand what all of these definitions and terms are that are in our code, which you can see down here, right? Right-of-way, ultimate, street line, cartway, and then the shade trees, right? So this refers back to what we just looked at before. And then finally, this is how the township classifies streets, expressway, arterials, major. This is all on our site and in the code. But Ricky, what they use, and he has shared that with us, is he has a list of private roads because they do not actually have responsibility for right-of-way trees on private roads. Private roads are on Ricky's list, but they are not really anywhere else in the code, which is why I thought it was confusing. So I have it sort of as E1, right? Confusing?
What'd you say, E1?
E, local streets,
Oh, I got you.
right, E1. So these are the streets that, so the process is, let's say it's a resident or it's an arborist says there's a tree right of way, you know, I'm going to call the township. So the process is that the township would look at the list to say, is it a township road yes, no, is it a private road, then they don't actually support that. So I'm just trying to put this all together so that we can understand it and frame it in a context, right? Questions right here? This is just reference. It says, look, I would say E, local street, all other existing streets, local, and then the ones that aren't private, I would say, are probably just local, correct? Right? So if it's a local street, let's say it's Pembroke, as long as it doesn't actually fall under the private roads, then it's, yes, it's a local street.
Okay.
Correct? All right, so I'm going to go back here. Okay, so I made this mostly so that I could understand the context and perspective of what are we really talking about when we say the township is responsible for maintaining and removing trees in the right-of-way. So that's why I made this, right? So it's really, if you look at who's responsible for all of these different types of roads, right? Local is really when that kicks in. So township, but except private, and then this is how the township site categorizes them. So they put cul-de-sacs as something else, so it's really the same. And then we do understand that for the ones where the township does have jurisdiction or responsibility, if they find that, so when somebody goes out and looks at it, if they find that it's going to be greater than $7,500 for that, then there's an additional level of approval that Ricky needs, right?
Isn't there,
There's-
there's county
Say that again.
responsibility here too, right? County? I know North Radnor, Chester, Delaware County, this was a couple of years ago. Steve Norsini had gotten me the contact, because that was managed by Delaware County.
State,
Public Works?
state, the state, Radnor Chester Road,
Yeah,
that's a state road.
it's a state road.
We only have,
It's the Delaware County Maintenance Division, though, of the state.
Of the state, okay. Maybe
but I
that
do,
was the disconnect.
Ms. Kristen, if you can go back just so I can, to that previous slide, yeah.
This one?
So, yes, so the 7,500, any township money that's spent requires approval. Like, everything goes through Bill White. He just has the authority to do up to 75. So over 75 is BOC approval.
Okay.
So everything has to get approved. It's just who,
Different level, I
yeah.
gotcha. So,
Yeah, so maybe add just over 7,500 requires BOC approval. for
which
that.
I can do. Again, this is,
So-
right now, this is for us because I feel like it was 6 months ago where we were talking about, you know, what did we think about a policy or something, and it was very difficult to weigh in on that because I don't think any of us understood what the current state or policy was, because it's all over the place a little bit. So that's why I wanted to just put this together so that maybe we could all be on the same page for any future discussions.
You say that minor collectors, which I think is like South Wayne Avenue, is the responsibility of the state? Does that include the maintenance of trees along the minor collectors?
in the right-of-way. The state has a right-of-way too for their roads. So when people call us on state roads, we let them know that it's a state road. They have to contact them. Sometimes we will, if a tree's really bad, then we will ask the state for their right-of-way just so we can, you know, give the resident whether, so they can know whether they need to proceed or whether it's under the state. But normally, we don't get involved. We just leave it between the resident and the state to kind of hash
I
that out.
didn't
You used
realize
to.
that.
Huh?
And
You used to. Maybe before you were in
so,
your position.
do you plow the minor collectors, or does the state plow it?
No, we plow everything.
You plow everything, all 120 miles?
Yes, sir.
And the state gives you money.
Yes.
Oh.
And awards.
For the best plowing crew.
You gotta pat yourself on the back.
Can you go back to the table again?
And this all started from the questionnaire for the, what is it called, the
It was-
25-year plan for
No,
the township, or
Comprehensive.
comprehensive
No,
plan?
it came from, remember where we had neighbors that came to speak because there was one property in their neighborhood that everything sort of was, all the trees were removed. And then someone else wrote in to say that it cost $17,000 to tax, right? And then the neighbors came and said, you know, we didn't even know the trees were coming down. And that's kind of
Bryn
where
Mawr
that
Avenue.
started, where we said, oh, should somebody be notified? And it just snowballed because it was a difficult to understand policy and difficult to find, I thought. But I think this,
But also what dovetails into this is the board has asked us to put together a
That.
proposed plan
Yeah.
for maintenance of trees.
Yeah,
Right,
if I
that's
could
what I was
touch a
gonna
little
say.
bit, exactly what happened. The Rawls One situation did start this, but there was a commissioner that, once we told him we're gonna remove them, and then we're gonna plant them back, his question is, well, why are we putting something back after now we're clear, we're out of it, no more right-of-way trees, but now we're planting them back in there, so now we're responsible for those too. So he put the question, well, why are we maintaining right-of-way trees? And that's
Right.
when it's been kicked to
Just say
you as
because trees are good. Should be enough.
okay?
Curbs, your third column. We live on Radnor Way and we have no curbs. So I think maybe that needs an asterisk, if that's what.
This is actually, I just cut this from the township's code site. So the
I think you
first
have,
four columns are, you know, after
We're
that.
supposed to have curbs?
you have someone on a private road complaining about curbs. He doesn't count.
Where are my
But
curbs at?
but this is.
We live on the same street,
But it's only
for the
if there
record.
is a curb,
To be
or
fair,
if
I
there
don't
is a
want
Right, right,
sidewalk.
right. So
I
I
don't want the
added, yeah, I added sidewalk maintenance responsibility because when I was actually looking that up to try to understand what that even was, I was intrigued because it's pretty clear that, and I think we talked about this when Steve Schreiner was here, it's pretty clear that in certain situations, the homeowner is responsible for maintaining, fixing the sidewalk, and if they don't, there's a process for it, and if the township has to step in and do it, then they're gonna bill that person. So there is a process like that, and I didn't see that we had anything similar, but I thought we could use it as some kind of benchmark if we
Okay.
want to,
Thank you.
okay? So I'll resend this to everyone. I'll update just the BOC piece. Okay?
Thanks for putting
Clear as
this
mud?
together. So where are we at with a proposal to the board for how we approach maintenance?
So I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I was figuring Frank was putting a PowerPoint together.
Well, I think what hangs us up is we want to do maintenance, but the cost is just so astronomical. Maybe some of us want to do
Yeah.
maintenance.
I think it would be a good discussion to define what maintenance really is, because for all intents and purposes, maintenance is being done, if you consider removal to be maintenance, right?
Removal, prunings are being done by the township already, so I think it's a question for what do the residents want? And that's something for we can help the Board of Commissioners gather information, and they can see from what we spend, what it would actually cost if they did more, I guess. So I think everybody can get a good idea of what it would cost and what initial cost would be if we wanted to do more maintenance. If you wanted to start up a tree division, Ricky would know within a couple $100,000 what it's gonna cost. I mean, I'm sure.
Million?
I'm also curious
least,
about
yeah.
what the actual costs were, let's say, for the past year or two, just for those township roads that we're talking about, not parks, right? Just the right-of-way trees. I would love to see just what the actual costs were, if you have that,
Yeah.
as a
Six
piece
figures.
of the pie.
Yeah, we can
it's
get you that for,
Right.
we have it for
I
some
think that's
years.
important to
I
know.
think it's like in between 200,000 and 400,000 probably.
For right-of-way?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can
Yeah,
look at
those
the-
are the majority of the trees that we get calls on.
Okay.
The parks, we inspect those. We'll have a couple residents that'll reach out that, stuff that we may not be aware of, but the majority is a tree. You have one on the agenda that we'll be discussing, 8B. So that is where we get a lot of our calls from, and I haven't even got to the price of what those trees will be to be removed, so it
If we
is,
remove.
I think that if I can point a little bit, I think the point that you mentioned, Kristen, in regards to how much the township spends to take care of the right-of-way trees. Then you have most townships that have right-of-way trees that they maintain, they have a tree crew.
Right.
So, but I'll leave that to, you know, the powers that be. If they ask me my opinion, I like the way that we're doing it just because of the liability aspect of it and the safety of it is not on the township to have our staff out there dealing with those type of situations. The other part of it is kind of what you said, Mr. Fruman, when you were talking about our maintenance program. It is either removal or pruning. Those are the only two options that we offer when it comes to trees. So, you know, within that framework, it's, if we take this program away, we keep it, this is what we're spending. If we take it away, who's responsible for said trees? Like, we've had trees, usually if there's a tree that's in the right-of-way, or excuse me, outside of the right-of-way, and once we tell them that, I could take you to addresses where those trees are still standing. Most homeowners will not go spend that $3,000, but
Right.
township said funds, sure, take it down, and no call when it hasn't been removed. So it's kind of what we all feel comfortable with, you know, with taking care of some of these said hazards. And I also would feel like if we did give them back, and this would be another question, would that then still fall under Public Works? Because what happens with these hazards, if the resident doesn't want to do anything, somebody has to act. The township legally is going to, once we know it's a hazard, we're still going to be somewhere liable. So before, with private property, I was involved until we changed the ordinance, and I was going to private property saying, you need to remove your tree because it's hazardous. So I don't think that would change if we just said the township's not taking care of right-of-way trees. I think I would still be involved, and now it would go to a different, all those calls that we get, those 50 calls, now they would be me and Mr. Rice and the township manager trying to decide, are we gonna get out of that aspect too? So just putting a little bit more context of whatever way we go, there's going to be blowback, I guess, if you want.
I think, you know, just to close the loop on this conversation, we're also, that BOC asked question of if we are removing a right-of-way tree, are we replanting it in the right-of-way? Doesn't that continue our liability? And maybe, just maybe, you know, when we do fall tree planting, when we do spring tree planting, we would require the tree to not be planted in the right-of-way.
Right, that would impact our planting, yeah. Right, because PHS requires it in the right-of-way, right?
Why does PHS have that requirement? Do we know?
It's a street tree program.
Street tree program?
Right, okay. Right, no, the city I understood, but, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
But there's an option to continue to give out street trees, and if you were to change it up, so homeowners are responsible, just like they are for sidewalks, right? I mean, that's an option too.
Yeah, I believe whatever recommendations that, that's what the board, BOC is looking for from
Yeah.
you guys. So whatever, I mean, they're probably gonna ask me my opinion, but they are gonna trust what, you know, you say.
And
that's
so-
what they're looking for.
Yeah, and so like, if there is a sidewalk on a state road, when you go to sell your house, township still requires you to fix the sidewalk, correct?
Yes.
Right, so you can require them to fix the trees as well, possibly. That could be an option at closing for UNO or whatever it's for.
Yeah, that I can't answer to. I mean, that would be a code, John Rice, Steve Nursing.
No, I understand. I'm
you
just
know. But yeah, I mean,
a
if
suggestion
that's something that's
to do it.
that's changed and they agree to it, then
Yeah, because one of the things I see a problem with is, what was I gonna say? Township will not take care of trees on my road because I'm on a state road, but I still have to pay for other houses on other roads. So taxpayers aren't all getting the same benefit, even though we're paying the same tax on it. So kind of even everything out, take away trash at the same time, no.
But they're driving on the roads,
No,
which does benefit.
I'm joking.
Right.
Right, yeah,
Because it's not private roads, so roads that any of us might be driving on any given day do get the benefit of street trees. Right?
correct,
So it might not be their house,
yeah.
but they're accessing
Yeah.
the benefit.
Or you could be like Seth and I living on a private street where there is no maintenance.
If
Well,
I
we're
was
not as
only
lucky
so
as you.
wealthy.
Oh,
Two guys.
thank you.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, to repave our street, that's coming out of our pockets,
Oh, wow.
unless we, force Ricky.
Because
to
you
do
live
it.
on
You
a
probably
private road,
paid for your own
Yeah.
sewer too, didn't you?
If I could say
you probably
one
drive an
thing,
electric car too. No, I'm joking.
even regards to trees, we may not do maintenance on a private road or a state road, but the one thing with this storm that happened June 19th, if a tree fell on that private road or a state road, the township will clear it to open that road up. So that is something that all taxpayers will get the benefit of. We were on Conestoga Road. We were cleaning it up. Matter of fact, after the road was open, we were going back getting debris off of those roads. So there is a lot of, at least now.
No, I
the
understand.
way-
It benefits everybody. And if you're walking down another street with trees and sidewalks, we benefit from it as well through a township. I'm just giving different scenarios and
Yeah, I think there's pros and
options.
cons.
We're not here to make a decision. I think we're here to
Yeah, talk
kind
about
of help see different aspects of it.
If we go back to something MJ said about, defining what maintenance is, hazardous tree, taking it down, hazardous tree pruning, non-hazardous tree pruning, vines growing up a tree, these are different types of maintenance that a person would do on a tree. I think defining that would be good. When I was in Ricky's offices the other day, found out we had 120 miles of roads in the township, We could use that and come up with some sort of estimate as to how many trees, what's their fail rate, and come up with, if we do these 5 things, it's going to cost this. If we do these 2 things, it will cost less. Is that of any value, you think, before we go to the BOC? Or come up with a recommendation? I mean, there's this tree on Ivan Avenue, which is humongous tulip poplar, totally encased in ivy. Clearly cheaper in the right of way, cheaper to remove the ivy than take down the tree and lose the tree. But the township's not going to do the ivy, and until I leave a message in this guy's mailbox, he's not going to do anything about it. But we're going to lose a tree. You can just see it.
But if it's in the right of way, I'm sure you guys would take care of it, right? You would cut the ivy off if it was suggested?
No,
I mean, yeah, if it was
I mean, you're
suggested,
pruning
something that
trees.
the arborist told us to do, because we got a call about it. I
Yeah.
mean.
Is that the
we
climbing
would-
hydrangea you're talking about, that I was admiring today on the tree, right near the street?
it's right at the corner of Ivan and Brookside.
I think it's a climbing
Yeah.
hydrangea, which
And
doesn't
he's a
harm the
member of
tree.
St. David's, for God's sakes.
So don't call.
Hosbach told me we do not take off vines from trees
No.
as part of a
Yeah,
maintenance.
if he needed to make an inspection, then we'll have to. Like, there was a tree that actually at West Wayne Cemetery, it since fell, and we had to remove it. The one that was closest to the small house, that tree was covered in ivy, and he couldn't make an assessment on it. Well, before we actually got the ivy removed, branches started falling. So basically, at that point, he was just like, remove it.
Yeah. yeah.
So if it's something where, he needs to make a determination, then, whether we do it or we have to have, but that hasn't really happened too much for me to say with regularity that this is what we do.
Okay.
Can we get a good understanding of what Public Works defines as maintenance? What's within your purview today? We understand that you do reactive removal, reactive pruning. We get that. Would ivy removal be something, reactive ivy removal? Could you give us a schedule of what's being done and what sort of the budget assigned to that is?
I would say that's more proactive than reactive. If we get calls, it would be reactive, but I mean, proactive if we went and saw it. What we were doing before, I'll just give an example. In the willows around the creek, we were doing clearing around all of those trees. That project has since, been, I guess, abandoned. You know, basically it comes down to staff.
No, I
Time.
just mean in the right-of-way itself.
Oh, in the right of way? No,
Yeah.
we don't go and do maintenance on trees or clearing ivy from around them or making sure those trees are safe and nothing. We don't have the staff to manage that.
Okay, and that's what I meant by
Yeah.
reactive,
Yeah.
right? Somebody calls, tree falls, or tree doesn't fall, but it's in danger, you come out and,
Some of the instances when it comes to right-of-way trees, we'll see it. Like, I mean, it's basically smacks you in the face. You're driving down the street, you see a tree close to the road, you know it's within the right-of-way, you're used to kind of what those measurements are. You know you can make the call for a dead tree. Now, other ones that people call up and they can't tell, I mean, a dead tree, that's easy to spot, but something that may have other signs, we may not see those, but we'll get calls and then, you know, that'll be more reactive. But a dead tree, those are easy to spot, so we will be a little more, you know, proactive when it comes to that.
But you guys are proactive. In a couple of the contracts that you contracted to, or bid out, there was pruning work involved.
Mhm.
So that's being proactive.
Yeah.
And then in our meeting minutes, you can go back and you do have with your list of hazardous trees, sometimes we prune this tree.
Mhm.
So they are doing proactive.
Yeah, like even in our
Right.
current, you know, tree contractor that we have that's doing the 3-year, there's pruning that happened, there's also surveying when he's in the parks, just looking
Yeah.
around and seeing, you know, some trees have declined. So, I mean, it's a hard topic for this committee to probably navigate. I don't know what, you know, you would say as far as yes, no, but a lot of it comes down to money, and the other part comes down to the responsibility and safety. Those are the two big things that have to be weighed, I would think, that's on your plates to have to decide. Like, what would you say is more important?
Good words to end with, I think. Maybe for next month, we'll pick this up. What do you say? But I think we got somewhere today, and we'll make some notes. All right, let's move on to 7C, because we got a bunch more things. I thought this was going to be short. 10,000 Pico, Natural Lands. That's done. New business, Radnor Fall Festival. Did anybody bring this up? I don't know anything about it.
I put it on there because the Fall Festival's in September, and it'll be before our next meeting, so if you're setting up a table,
Okay.
that's all.
Did
September 21st?
we do a table last
I think?
year?
And we did have a meeting with them. They did want to know if you wanted another
I
table.
like
Do you guys want to?
Yeah.
I think it's September 21st. I'll look at my calendar. I think that's,
I mean, we've got all the stuff to do it, so.
September
Sunday?
21st.
yeah.
I can do
And we
it.
have name tags.
Kristen, you can do
I
it?
can do it 21st. I won't do it
September,
all
let me see
myself,
here.
but I will. Yeah.
James's
Sunday.
confirmation meeting. What time is it?
12 to 4.
12 to 4? Eh, might be there a couple hours.
Yeah.
I'll donate a tree this year again if
Aw,
if
that's
you guys
nice.
will
Yeah.
take on the thing,
Our
and
setup last year.
we'll
worked
figure
pretty
something
well.
out for, no.
Okay. Yes, yes, and we have to
I
have
lost mine.
giveaways. Merch, we need some merch.
So September 21st, will we have a meeting before that? No. Okay, can you guys work offline to
Yeah.
get that worked out?
Yep.
Miss Leah, can you contact the powers that be, let them know we'll do it? Do we have to pay for that?
I think the township gets so many free ones.
Because we could change that request and go to
28,000.
26.
James is paying.
Right. Okay, sounds good. So Kristen and Frank, you're
Yep.
manning the tables. MJ and Seth are signing up and everything. That's good. Thanks, guys. Okay, next one, Radnor Fall Festival. 105 Aberdeen Terrace. This is also on the hazardous tree list.
We'll be there.
John called me up about this. These were 3 trees on one property, and going back to that run, I think it was Runnymede, where the 17 trees came up. These are 3 big oak trees that are coming down, so John wanted to run this past us. There are 3 35-inch oak trees. 2 of them, I think it was a bacterial leaf scorch, he said. 2 of them are completely gone. There is one other one that he says has bacterial leaf scorch, or probably does. It doesn't look like it's a hazardous tree. It doesn't look like it's dead or anything, but it probably will be within the next 3 to 8 years. So I think he wanted, or the township maybe wanted our thoughts and our blessing on it. They haven't been taken down yet, have they?
No, he gave us a timeline. He said within a short time frame, so it should be a month or so is what he was suggesting. And I guess because of the size, all three of them being heritage trees, the street's lined with these oak trees on Aberdeen. So I think, and even the resident he mentioned, he was very supportive of it and wants, trees planted back in there. But he wanted the committee to know about it before we did anything. And it'll also, the one quote that we got, I'll have to get a couple more, but it's looking like it's around 12,000. So I have to get a couple more just because of the price and the size of these trees, just in case the commissioners ask, and that's the protocol.
What's that? Yeah, see, the first one doesn't look half bad. Actually, it looks pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, they don't look terrible.
This is June,
The second and third one
this
are
is June
hammered.
2022.
Yeah, the first one's not as bad.
Yeah, they're starting to.
Yeah, these ones, I think that one is completely dead already. One of them is really bad. So with this disease, 3 to 8 years you can get out of it. I think there is I was reading today, there is some sort of treatment that can be done, an injection, but it's not gonna save the tree. It might prolong its death. So I don't think we have to vote on it, but if anybody wants to give their thoughts on what they think, I'm gonna leave it up. John is a lot more qualified than I am, so if he recommends removal, I'm not going to go against him. I mean, I would have no problem keeping one tree, but
Yeah,
I
mean,
think it's township's call.
Yeah, my only recommendation would be whatever we replant, just get some biodiversity in there, because
Mhm.
you've got
They're all oaks.
four of the same
Yeah.
trees that have caught a disease, but if we have 4 different, maybe
And one
less
of the
likely.
issues is that utility lines running across the back of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so Ricky,
Oh, in the
if you
front of
do
it.
take those trees down and replant, it looks like there's utility lines running right with those trees, so maybe when Asplund came and pruned them back, it probably pruned at the wrong time, might have started the trees to go downhill. So plant something that's gonna be smaller, that's a small canopy, nothing that's going to grow into the wires again.
I'll make note of that. John, in his email, didn't tell me what he exactly wanted to be replaced there. And even with that, that'll be out of
Yeah.
the beautiful shade tree budget, so.
Anybody else? Thoughts on this?
So if it's out of the budget, it's gonna happen this year, do we feel like that 31 number is still sufficient?
I think you just add that on to whoever's taking down the trees, tell them to replant.
That's a different budget. The removal is Parks Maintenance budget,
But the planting.
but the planting would be your budget, yes.
Out of the 8.
There you go. Perfect. All right, Frank wins.
What was your
Put a request in for a tree in the fall.
But we want 4 trees there.
Well, there's only one resident. It's only one house.
But Frank's trying to find a loophole.
I don't think we're going to find one tonight, but,
Well, the timing, though, may not work out,
and see, that's how we get the actual price down for the installs, because 3 on one property, it'd take 1 hour. Done.
I say we throw in a couple of extra thousand to our budget request, just in case. These 4 replacements will have to come out of our fund. And we don't know when they'll get replaced, so they could be PHS trees, but if the timing doesn't work.
And
Is
then
that a
we're not-
separate sheet on the PowerPoint?
It's in the appendix.
Okay, so can we make a motion on this to add it's 500, add $2,000 to the budget request for replanting along Aberdeen where the trees are being removed. Do I have a second?
So 27,000 plus the 6.
The 20, yeah.
So that gets
yeah.
us to 33. Yeah. Second, approve.
All in favor? Good job, guys.
Sounds good.
Good work. All right, move on. So is that good, Miss Leah? Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. All right, two things for new business, sorry, guys. Miss Leah, I haven't seen it anywhere, but advertise for another volunteer for the shade tree since we're down one? I don't know
I
if it's
just saw it on an email somewhere.
Oh,
that
it is?
It's already on the website.
Perfect, all
The
right.
commissioners put out all the vacancies
Okay,
this
great.
week.
All right, then the balance on the shade tree, we have to
And I
work on
think
that.
we should check with Matt Goldis and see if he's
Be
available.
still my heart.
He's available.
Can he come back?
He was not a member of Shade Tree, so he would qualify.
Oh, nice.
He was a member of planning.
He's also interested, I don't want to speak for Matt, but he's interested in coming back to planning, so.
Sorry.
And we will have a vacancy in
Oh,
January.
he's so happy.
Okay, all right.
So we can kill two birds with one stone.
No, we can't, because then we still have a vacancy on this board.
I would be more than happy to
Oh, you're
let
gonna
Matt come
become a
back.
member of, okay, perfect.
But we'd still need a person for here. If Matt takes your spot,
So Matt would,
why would you leave us?
I think he's a far more qualified candidate. I think what would happen is that if he was appointed to planning, then perhaps the commission would see it in their wisdom to appoint him as the shade tree liaison in January. So,
But there would still be a vacancy from Jen's
Yeah,
position.
we still need one more. But it's out there anyway. Sounds good. All right.
Matt can
And
do
there's
with that
probably
information as he wishes.
If Matt is watching,
And he is.
and he is,
Well, MJ did us a real solid by filling the gap when Matt left, so very,
True.
very much appreciated. I don't think it was a long-term solution.
No, I think Matt has left a permanent vacancy here, and I think he should have it back.
I second.
All in favor? Okay, sounds good. All right, and then the balance is shade tree. We have to figure that out. So maybe Mr. Tate, he did suggest maybe coming to a meeting at some point. That way we can all understand how much money is in the fund. How do we ask for more for next budget? Because right now, I think our budget is $15,000 or something for the year, and we're going way over that, so.
But that's what it's typically been, right? So it's not,
Isn't this a self-funding board? I mean, you do. Yeah.
as of 2021, around there?
You didn't know you paid to belong?
Well, we collect.
Still waiting on the
Well, I will point out,
negotiation
until
check.
it was like, I'm not sure, who started the PHS? Frank? Seth?
Who's this crew?
So I think they used to spend about 25 to 45,000 just for one planting in the fall and spring for about 60 trees, because it was all contracted out.
B&B,
So I think we're doing
yeah, we're
a
covered.
great job in saving residents a lot of money.
Here, here.
So if we can figure out a way to keep on doing that, it'd be great. Okay, what's next? Who's next?
Did we want to talk about the maintenance of newly planted trees at the Willows?
Uh,
8C?
I was just gonna ask if, do you guys have a water tote or anything on the back of a truck?
We do?
You do? Sounds so excited. Any chance you could get water up the hill there?
What are you doing this Saturday?
I will,
I mean, you're at a meeting until 8 o'clock. I mean,
yeah, I will talk to the park supervisor and see if we can schedule something, to get those trees
it's
some
been
water.
dry. I mean, we had a lot of nice weather in the spring, but it's getting dry again, so.
Yes, sir.
And I was up there last week, and they could use some water.
Okay.
And I'm too heavy to haul up water, so I don't want to have a
No,
heart
you're
attack.
not.
Yeah,
You're fine.
I mean, it might help me, but, yeah,
No problem. We'll get that taken care of.
that'd be great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that up, Seth, I forgot all about. Hazardous trees removed by residents. Any, same old stuff, Ricky, for that? Then trees removed by township. Any comments?
No,
Mr.
sir.
Foster?
All the normal stuff. We have phone calls from residents, and we came out and they were assessed by the township arborist, and they needed to be removed.
But you took that oak down on Pembroke, correct? At least it's not there anymore.
Yes, I believe we did, but not the other one that you reported.
Yeah, I know.
And I will point out, and I'm sorry about, I don't know if this is good or bad, but since I started taking over from Seth, there's been no crowd, so I must be horrible or very good, I'm not sure. But
I think that's a-
adjourn,
I think that's a good thing.
no public comment. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All in favor?